Okay, so I just watched Adolescence, and shout out to mi sobrina Lola. This show, there's no surprise why it's been number one on Netflix's global list for over 2 weeks. I just, this show, y'all. Oof, let's talk about it. Grab your popcorn, pour your drink of choice, and hit play. This is Pop, Pour, Play, where I talk about some of the hottest shows on screen. I'm Nichelle, and welcome to my podcast. So welcome back to another episode of Pop, Pour, Play. I'm Nichelle, and the only thing better than watching TV is talking about it. And today I'm here to talk about Adolescence. So if you've landed on this episode and you have not watched Adolescence or you haven't finished the series, please turn this off and go watch it. I will be here. And for all of you who continue, please know there are spoilers ahead.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Adolescence premiered on Netflix on March 13th. And yes, it took me a while to watch it, but the hype is real. This is an amazing series. It pulls on so many emotions from anger, confusion, frustration, sympathy, sadness. I mean, the list can go on. There's so many things that I really enjoyed about this show. And I'll start out with the choices that the creators made. One of which they casted Owen Cooper to play Jamie Miller. And Owen Cooper has not done any acting previously, which is amazing to really have someone you haven't connected with in any other show made it feel more believable and raw. And he did such a great job. I think the other thing that I would say is the cinematography choices that they've made. This handheld camera style really made you feel like you were given a special pass to be in this interrogation room, to be there when they actually arrested him at home, to follow them around in the school. It felt personal. It felt intimate. Some of those close-up shots, those tight shots, it really pulled you into the story. And then last, I would say how they navigated us through this emotional roller coaster. And I'm so curious if any of you had similar feelings or thoughts. I guess the best way to talk about it is thinking about each episode and the impacts that they had. So the very first episode, looking at the SWAT team tearing down the door of this family and arresting this child and looking at him, I was like, okay, somebody must have got it wrong, right? He can't be criminal or have done this, like something that warrants this type of arrest. And then also seeing him in the van, and my heart was just thinking, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine what those parents are going through. In addition to that, now you have who the lead detective was. I think his name was Luke. And Luke had mentioned
this old case once, right? Young boy. Put it this way. It took us months before we realized what the dad was doing to him.
So it kind of plants this seed in your head that, let's look at the dad. And as the dad is there and the dad is in anguish watching his son be strip searched, I'm kind of giving a side eye to the dad, like, what did you do? You know, did you were you abusive? All these things go through your mind. And then in the end, when you finally get to the interrogation room where they're trying to get a confession out of Jamie, he's still, to me, just not coming across someone who could have committed the act, but maybe he knows more than what he's saying. Maybe it was a friend. And then they show the video. And I tell you, this is where our biases can really play a trick on us, a number on us. When they show the video, I'm scooching in. I I see him. I think it's not close enough. I see movements. Does that mean he has a knife? So I'm looking at the act. I see the father saying, "What did you do?" But I'm still questioning, well, is that it? Like, do we know for sure? Is he? I'm still questioning with this evidence if this child has really done what they said he did, which was kill a fellow student named Katie. So that's one part. Then the second part, we get to the school. The detectives were trying to uncover, right? Again, a motive, learn a little bit more about Katie, the victim, learn a little bit more about Jamie and his behavior. When I saw Jamie's two friends, one of which looked kind of resembled him. So I'm already like, maybe he did it. I'm putting him in the video instead of Jamie. And I'm like, maybe they just got confused because for whatever reason, right? Your biases just can play a trick on you. I'm making the assumption it wasn't Jamie. There's got to be something else. And I just saw the video in episode 1. So I'm tripping. But I went there and he just seemed suspicious. And of course, when he jumped out that window, I was like, yep, that's it. And when the other girl was like, jumped on him and said, "What did you do?" And I was like, yep, that's it. See? I knew it wasn't Jamie. It was probably this other kid that he might take the fall for it. So that was another component. And then the other was what often can happen even in real life is blaming the victim, telling what she was writing about him and
basically, and all those people have fired, which means they're agreeing with her.
Okay. So this is bullying.
that doesn't warrant her being murdered. And so I at no point put blame on Katie, the victim. But again, that's just another piece of that roller coaster. Do you feel some compassion for Jamie because he was bullied? So the last part I will say at the school was seeing Detective Luke and his son and their relationship, and that it's clearly broken. Maybe it's his job that's pulling him away. They don't really spend time with him. He mentioned,
"You don't call me son. You call other people son. You never call me son."
I feel at the end of episode 2, he realized this could easily be him if he doesn't correct the relationship that he has with his son and investing that time into his son to ensure that, these things that are going on at the school, social media, that he doesn't end up also being a victim of losing that child. So that was the second part of my roller coaster. The frustration, um, the anger, and in just what kids have to deal with today, and the bad side of social media and the impact that it can have. And then you get to episode 3, and oof, I mean, episode 3 just blew me away. There's so many dynamics in episode 3. You have Brittany come into this room and you immediately see there's some type of flirtatiousness in Jamie's demeanor. And she seems to be kind of playing back the smiles, the bringing the hot chocolate with the marshmallows, the way he likes it. And he's soft on her, you can tell. And when he feels that he's not getting his way and some sense of rejection when she can't help get him out of where he's at and he wants to go to a proper jail, which I'm like, I don't know, boy, if you want to go to a proper jail, but okay, he doesn't want to be in this mental health facility. And that anger, that built up and came out of him. And it made me no longer question, is he capable? I felt and saw the rage. And not only did he display it, but the way she was even taken back. The way Brienne had to get out and catch her breath, take a breather. That dynamic to all lead to him, calming down, really wanting to get to talk to her again, and then uncovering more around him and his friends being spat on, how he was bullied, how he sees himself as ugly, how he wanted to see if maybe he had a shot with this girl if she was at her lowest. It was so painful to see this child. This is the picture that he has of himself. And to go that extreme. And even when he talked about touching her bits, like, what do you think you can do as a 13-year-old? And he felt so uncomfortable talking to another woman about this. You as a woman shouldn't be talking to me about this. So again, it's like this bits of toxic masculinity in that conversation and throughout that interaction. And even the moments when he tried to feel like empowered by causing her fear.
Are you all right? You look a bit red. Did I scare you when I shouted?
She wrote this on your
I mean, I'm only 13. I don't think I look that scary. Oh, how embarrassing is that? Getting scared of a 13-year-old. Wow.
Oh my gosh, this, y'all, woo, episode 3. Oh, it was something else. And then, you guys, at the end of that, he wanted to keep engaging with her. He wanted to know how she felt.
Don't even let me be!
Jenny, come on, man, please. Okay? Jenny.
What did you think about me then?
Okay.
Tell my God I'm alright! Tell my God I'm okay!
And at the end of the day, he was just this child looking for acceptance, approval. That one sat with me for a while. It really sat with me for a while. And the part that sat with me the most, and this is more on episode 4 as well, he told a story about his dad and when he was playing football, which he's not really big on sports.
This football thing on Saturdays, and he'd cheer me on and everything, but when I'd he'd just look away. Maybe he just didn't want me to see him looking sorry. I don't know. Ashamed.
That dad used that same story when he was distraught in episode 4.
I just stood there on the side of the pitch while all the other dads were laughing at him. And I could feel him looking at me. And I couldn't look at him, and I couldn't look at me homeboy.
He just didn't know what to do, and so he looked away, and he thought that while that was wrong, he didn't know how else to protect his son at that time. And I really think that had a pivotal impact on both of them in different ways. And you could see throughout the series that Jamie wanted his father's approval, that he wanted him to be proud of him or not look down at him. And so, yeah, that was really tough. And it was really tough just seeing them cope through the part that they may have played in all of this. And how do they survive and stay in their home with how society's looking at them? And I think the mom was just really grounded here. It was close to the end. The dad said,
How's this way make you headache?
Same way we made him.
so it was really hard to see that. And one of the things that I really started tearing up on, and sheesh, I might even tear up now, was watching the dad at the end cry. And why I get emotional is because so often children lose their adolescence. He had to mourn the loss of his son's adolescence that they'll never get back. And you guys are probably like, girl, what is your problem? This is fictional, but again, a person who watches a lot of true crime, it's not far from the truth. And the reason this show was made was because these things are happening. They're happening more than we want to believe. And it's very sad. It's very emotional for me. So I will say, now that I've gotten my second wind, I think that the series was impactful. It was emotional. It was raw. The weapon, the knife, was never found. But I feel that that knife, although we didn't get the actual knife found, metaphorically, the knife was in many places. It was at the school with the bullying. It was at social media. A dagger in the hearts of the victims, the Katie's parents who we never saw, Katie's best friend, the Millers. It was palpable. And again, if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. That's all I got to say about Adolescence. I don't know if you felt similarly to some of the things that I felt, but if you did, please put it in the comments. I love to have a conversation. And thank you for checking me out. And don't forget to subscribe.